Welcome to the Love on the Go podcast, brought to you by Carolina's Matchmaker. I'm Laurie Burzak, and for over 17 years, I've been helping singles find the relationship of their dreams all over the Carolinas. Along the journey, I've met so many amazing professionals and experts from various fields, and I'm excited to introduce them to you. What's my goal? I want to help you look at love and relationships in a new way and to grow in your understanding of how love works. Let's learn together how people have overcome personal obstacles and have found love, first and foremost with themselves. The ultimate goal is realizing that you are worthy and deserving of love. Let's get started. Tara, it's lovely to have you on Love on the Go today. Tara Neperud has been a friend of mine for many years now.
It's been over 10 years because I was just getting my real estate license when I met you.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
And we have hung out socially. You've helped me at events that I've thrown.
Yeah.
We've met for coffee. We've met at restaurants. You've introduced me to friends. I knew you when you were married. Now you're since divorced for about
Right.
5 years or so. So
Right.
I've watched you on the life's journey.
It's a journey for sure. Yes. No. And you've been a good friend and a good resource. And it's been fun learning about matchmaking through you because I learned a lot because I was
Yeah.
helping you recruit for a little bit.
And you helped me recruit. And that
Yeah.
was fun. So
Yeah.
when I first met you, and I think you still do this, and this is something that I think would be so fun to talk to everyone about, is you are such a people person. You're an extrovert. You get out. Even when you were married, you and your ex would go out and you would meet dynamic, interesting people just on
Right.
random weeknights. On school nights, you went out
Right.
and
Right.
met people. So I think it would be really interesting to talk today about the ability, how do you approach people out in the wild? Just
Mhm.
friendly conversation, but breaking that ice, which I think is hard for people to do.
Right.
I want to definitely talk to you about what dating has been like for you. And by the way, for those of you who aren't watching on YouTube, I mean, Tara is a beautiful woman. What are you, in your 50s or so? Something around
Yeah.
there? Yeah.
Yeah, early 50s. Don't
Early.
don't don't shoot me too far into my 50s.
Hey, mid 50s is a great time. You're consistently dating, you're consistently meeting people. So what it's been like out there
Yeah.
in the dating scene for the last 5 years, also as a mom of two grown kids. And some of the things that you've shared with me would be interesting to tell some stories.
Right.
So, and also, you're doing great.
Yeah,
Another,
absolutely. Yeah.
hey, you
Yeah.
don't have to be in a relationship. I don't even know if you're in one right now. We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you don't have to be happy and to be
Correct.
living a phenomenal life.
Right.
And
Absolutely.
and I think
Yeah.
that that's a great message to get out there, even if somebody just heard that part and they're like, and I'm out. Okay. So
Right.
so let's talk about what does your social life look like right now?
So I'm very, very fortunate to have a lot of girlfriends that are either single or married. That still and the married couples that still include me in their social life, I so appreciate because it, it doesn't just because you're single doesn't mean that you can't hang out with married people
Yeah.
and certainly not a threat, whatever.
Yeah.
But I have a great group of supportive girlfriends, and they're active. They get out, and so I'm never for a loss to have something to do,
Mhm.
especially now that my kids are out of the house and I'm an empty nester. So I and I get out for work because I have to. So there's functions for work. There's just working in general, but I'm definitely out in the social scene, in the single social scene in Charlotte, and
Okay.
uh, definitely it's different than when I was married,
Yeah.
but it's you learn as you go, and it's good for the most part.
What do you do on the social scene in Charlotte? Where do you go?
So whether it's listening to music, finding a good band, whether it's during the day, like in South End area where there's live music, or at night, or just a bar restaurant scene that's local that you like, and you know people that are going to be there, so you automatically have somebody to talk to. You know that you're going to run into somebody, and so it's not necessarily that I'm going out looking for a man. That's really the opposite, because I don't like being hit on at bars and restaurants. It just, I think I used to, and then it just became a turnoff. I'd rather just be out and be able to be with my friends and have a conversation and not have somebody try and hit on me.
Right.
But it happens, of course,
Sure.
because you're out, right? So it's so you just, you manage it. But when you were talking about meeting people while you're out, I am a social person. I love to hear people's stories, and I think that because I am genuinely interested, I can ask the questions, and I'm not just asking questions to ask questions. I actually want to, whether it's a man or a woman, I want to hear their story, and
Yeah.
it's fascinating. But I also realize that if I'm out, I'm probably want to talk to somebody. If you don't want to talk to somebody, then you're going to sit on your couch and watch Netflix, right? So
Exactly.
right.
Go out.
So I don't have a problem breaking the ice, because I know that it's most likely this person wants to have a conversation, and they almost always do. So I just ask a couple questions, and it goes from
That's an
there.
example. What does that look like? Because people
So
sometimes.
let's say going to a bar, and I do like to sit at a bar because
Right.
it's,
Out at a table.
I do want to have a conversation, especially, and I don't go out by myself, but once in a while, if I go out and I'm meeting somebody and I'm there first, I will just say, "Hey, how are you doing?" with the
Okay.
person next to me. Or if they have like a really delicious meal in front of them, I'm like, "What is that?" What
Ah,
just
that's easy.
just ask a question, and it doesn't take a lot to break the ice. And
Okay.
if somebody's really closed off, you're going to pick up on it quickly. Like they'll pick up their phone, or they'll have their you know their earpods in or something. I'm not going to try and start a conversation with somebody that clearly doesn't want to be talked to, right?
Yes. Right.
So, but more often than not, and if you see somebody talking to a bartender or a server or something, they're they want to have a conversation. So,
Yep.
yeah,
Just a simple hi, how are you doing, and a
yeah,
smile.
yes, very easy. You don't have to, you don't have to be creepy. I don't
Right.
like it. I don't like when people are creepy, and sometimes they are, and or they'll somebody came up to me this last weekend and said, "What gym do you belong to?" And
Oh,
I was like, "No, no."
so on one hand, you could think of it, it's a compliment. He can tell that I'm in good shape and I work out. But on the other hand, no.
That was an obvious, like,
Yeah.
that's his line. So
Yeah.
I probably should have said, "I don't belong to a gym. You shouldn't sit," like, I didn't though. I just said, whatever gym, and cut it short. So
Okay. How do
yeah,
you cut it off if somebody is like really talking up a blue streak with you?
it can be difficult because I don't like to be rude. I really
Yeah.
don't. And sometimes it can be difficult. And sometimes my friends curse me when we're out, and I start talking to the person next to me, and this person starts talking our
Yeah.
ears off, and they're like, "Tara, we just wanted to, whatever." I'm like, I don't know how to turn this off. But and sometimes I'll just say, I'm here with my friend, and she's got a story she needs to tell me. So it was nice talking to you.
Okay. Okay.
That's it.
Or you can, as long as you break it off, you can say, um, do you know where the restroom is? And just get
Right.
literally excuse yourself.
Right.
And
Right.
then when you come back, you can go to a different section of the bar,
Exactly. Yeah,
or
exactly.
start a conversation with your friend, and then you're
Right.
done. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you could even just say, hey, listen, I need to let you go, but it's been nice getting to know you. And
Right.
pat him on the shoulder and walk away.
Right. And I had a guy, it was at a party. It was at a house party, and he had very strong opinions,
Mm.
and he wanted to share his opinions, and I didn't want to hear him. So I said, and I mean, it was, like, there's many other people that would be more fun to talk to. And so I said, I just looked at him, I said, "It was nice talking to you. um, have a good rest of your night." And he's like, "Did I offend you?" Because I'm pretty sure that's not the first time that somebody has cut him short, if
Yeah.
that's kind of his
Yeah.
MO. And he goes, "Did I offend you?" I said, "Absolutely not. I just am done with the conversation." And that's
Oh,
about as that's about as rude as I get. And I felt rude, but it was clear that this guy wasn't going to stop talking. So
I'm just done with the conversation. And
yeah, I'm
then,
just done with the conversation. No, you didn't offend me. We don't need to talk about why or how you offended me, because that, he was one of those people that just wants to argue.
yeah, yeah,
Right.
debate.
Yeah.
And it's,
Yeah.
you just want to have fun and hang out
Right.
with, yeah,
Right.
meet people that aren't debaters. Okay, perfect.
Right. Yeah.
So when you and I, the last time we got together, you were telling me a story
Yeah.
about a guy that you dated long distance.
Yes.
Sounded like quite the catch. And then
Yes.
found out he was living like triple lives.
Yeah.
And
That if you've
tell
seen
the
that movie,
story.
the movie The Other Women, I don't know if
Yeah,
it's woman or women. It's
yeah,
definitely women in
I
his
remember.
case.
Yes,
So
uh-huh.
um my biggest takeaway from that, there's a couple takeaways. My biggest
How'd you meet
takeaway from
him?
that
How'd you meet him?
is the what?
How'd you meet
Oh,
him?
I met him through a mutual friend.
Oh, okay. Wasn't
Yeah.
even okay. Yeah.
Yeah, one of and I was good friends with this guy, and he made it very clear that this person wasn't looking for a long-term relationship, but you'd have a lot of fun with him. And I was like, and at that point I was fairly newly divorced, and I was like, I'm not really either. But when I met him, we had a we had great chemistry and great connection, and but he kind of ran with it. So you kind of follow their lead.
Yeah.
And I purposely wasn't dating in Charlotte because Charlotte's small
Yes, it
and
is.
everybody knows everybody. And I just wasn't ready to delve into that, the single
Yep.
dating life in Charlotte, and like, oh, you dated this person, which could be a friend of yours or whatever.
Mhm.
So I was attracted to the long distance, and something shifted at some point after about 9 months. And my biggest takeaway from that, and the advice that I would give guys or girls,
Mhm.
is listen to your gut.
Yeah.
Like when you have a feeling that something off, and this guy was he had an answer for everything. So when I would kind of question something, it was, he smoothed it over very easily. But come to find out, he had a serious relationship, girlfriend in Charleston. Oops. And somewhere outside of Charlotte.
How often were you seeing him?
So he lived outside of Charlotte, but he worked in Charlotte. So he was here almost every week.
Okay. Okay. So
So
you saw him every week, even though he lives somewhere else. Okay.
yeah, yeah. So he had a kind of living a double life. It was interesting. And so when something shifted, and then I was, something's off, and then we myself and this other lovely woman figured it out and scheduled a call. And yeah, so never talked to him again.
Wait a minute. How did you figure it out?
She figured it out,
She did.
and she sent me a direct message and said, do we need to talk?
Oh,
And I
wow.
said, yeah. And I was like, uh, it sounds like we do. So
Gosh.
yeah, yeah.
So he had been dating both of you. Okay. And then how did you handle it with him?
I never talked to him again.
Did you tell him you knew and then you were out, or you just,
They at that point, I was kind of not as serious with him because I could tell, I knew something wasn't right, but he was full on with her and planning, like, talking about marriage, all this stuff. And it wasn't hard for me not to talk to him again. It was really difficult for her, and it was difficult for her to get closure. So we ended up kind of, becoming friends, because she didn't, I knew her story, and we knew the same person. And she has thanked me, many times for having the conversation and just being honest.
okay. So she didn't,
Otherwise, we never would have known.
it's a
Yeah.
crazy story.
And don't be fooled. Don't be fooled by people's credentials. I'll just
Mm,
say that. Doesn't matter what school, business school you went to, positions you've had. They're, just really listen to your gut.
there's a lot of shady people. Did you have an idea at the very beginning that
Not at
something,
all. No,
literally,
not at all. Not at all. No.
did you think to yourself, boy, he's such a catch. I'm surprised he's still on the market.
he made it pretty clear that he wasn't really looking to get married again, but then his actions were different than his words. So, you start to, I think, as women, we listen to whichever one we want to believe, right? So I was listening to the actions or paying attention to the actions, but the words were never that we were going to be forever.
Okay.
So,
Yep.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
And then, so that was one relationship, obviously lasting
yeah,
almost a year, 9 months or
yeah,
so.
yeah.
What's another example of a relationship that you learned something from?
Decided I'm going to pull the trigger and date in Charlotte. It had been divorced long enough where I'm ready for like a real relationship that's local.
Mhm.
And the ex-girlfriend ended up being an absolute nightmare. And she's local. They something's still going on, or she can't let go, or he can't let go, whatever it is. But it just became this dramatic roller coaster ride that I don't do drama. I don't know what I would say I learned from that other than get out earlier rather than dragging it on. That never it wasn't going to get any better, and it didn't. It got worse. And so and the online dating is just not it is has not worked well for me. I've
Not good.
tried it. I don't have time for it. It gets to be a lot of, people just wanted to text. They
Okay.
don't want to get together, and I'm like, I don't need
You don't need a pen
six
pal.
six guys at a time
Right.
plus to text all. I don't have time for it. So
Well, do you ever try? I'm sure you do because you're a
yeah,
service. You ever just say, "Hey, listen, I don't have time to text. Do you want to, if you just want to
yeah,
meet up this weekend, I'm all
yeah,
game." And they're like,
yeah.
"Oh, I'm traveling or I'm
They
this."
yeah, they usually drop off pretty quick.
They just drop off. So
Yeah,
that's like,
yeah,
I mean, honestly, what I'm doing at this stage with my online dating clients is I'm just saying, get to the date as quickly as possible. So you're not
right,
wasting your time by
right.
messaging. And also it'll let you see if they're really serious.
Right. And you and I, when you were when I was helping you with the recruiting thing,
Yeah.
I was like, I can look at somebody on paper all day long, but let me meet
Yep.
someone and it'll take me 5 minutes to figure it out.
100%.
Yeah. So and it could be also because and I do believe this, FaceTime. Do a
Oh,
FaceTime call before you meet somebody. It could, I mean, definitely a phone call, but
yeah.
also FaceTime because a lot of times people have they don't look like their picture anymore,
Yeah.
or they've got a weird laugh. I can't do, I can't do and that's terrible, but it's true.
Oh,
Like you
voice
figured out,
so much to do with relationships
yeah,
and attraction.
right, right.
Hmm. That's a
And you
big,
can pick up on that. You can pick up on that. And then, and this is going to sound terrible, but it really, I'm just being very upfront. If I'm FaceTiming a guy and he's got a bunch of dirty clothes and his bed's not made
yeah,
and whatever,
yeah,
I'm not. I'm like, look, first of all, you don't care that you're a slob. Like
right.
you didn't even have the wherewithal to like go to a room that has a decent backdrop. You know what I mean? Like you can, because we don't have that much time on our hands. I don't want to waste my time. I
Mhm.
don't want to waste somebody else's time either.
Well, and the great thing about that is you just saved yourself like 5 dates or something
I,
potential.
I know, right?
Might not have gone to the bedroom before then,
Right,
meeting out and about. So
right.
that's
Yeah,
actually like really interesting advice. And yeah, you can tell a lot. And I'll sometimes have a client who's dating um, in a different city, in a different state, across the country, whatever it is.
yeah,
And space times have been valuable,
right,
for sure.
right.
You can you can just tell.
And if somebody says they don't want to FaceTime, that's a red flag,
Oh yeah,
right?
totally.
Like, yeah, then because I'm not meeting, and it's not you. I mean, we need to be safe too. Like it really there's a big safety factor there.
Do you run background checks?
I do. I have an app because I'm a real estate agent. I have a background check app, which is wonderful because if I go and meet a client at a
Mhm.
vacant house,
Oh
that's
yeah.
not safe, right? And so I do run a background check, and it's I just think that if somebody has a somebody has had a restraining order or assault and battery,
Oh yeah.
no, we're not meeting.
got it. You're not
Yeah.
meeting. Even like multiple speeding tickets is going to be a big
Yeah.
red,
When you see
right?
53 records, I'm like, how fast do you need to get to your next location?
Well, and also sometimes they'll come up as undisposed, so you
Yeah.
don't really know what it is, but
Right.
they've got 15 undisposed. It's like, how many times have you been in contact with the law?
I know. I
Like,
know.
that's also a red flag. I mean, it could
Right.
be, even if it's just like a speeding ticket, a registration, something or
Right.
other, like something paperwork, but it just means you're not adulting. You're not dealing with your shit,
Right. Right.
right?
Or you think that or that could be a sign of like a massive ego or a narcissist
Yeah.
that's above. Right.
Especially the speeding tickets.
Right. Yeah.
Heavy foot. And
Yeah.
also sometimes those guys are the ones that come on really strong fast.
Right. Right.
Right.
And that's where yeah. And again, it took me a minute to figure that out, but the
Yeah.
ones that come on really strong, I'm like, let's slow down.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
don't have to be in a rush here.
No. Yeah.
Enjoy the time, enjoy the beginnings.
No.
So you,
We're not love bombing. We
right.
don't need, yeah.
It's a huge red flag.
Yeah.
Totally. Um, I was talking to a client recently and she told me that she was at this guy's house. He just said to her he wants to be exclusive. She goes to the bathroom, she comes back, and he is on his app. It's like
Oh, no.
little, like a 5 minute break to the bathroom where he needs to, it's an addiction.
It is. Yeah, I can see that. And when I was on, and that was part of the reason why I struggled being online dating was I caught myself going and looking when I could be doing something much more productive.
Yeah,
And
totally.
you know what I mean? And so it really, and I just didn't find, I like, and you know me, I meet people so easily, organically out and about or through friends that really is, that's my ideal way. But I know that there's been some people have had great successes online. So it does work. It just hasn't worked for me.
I get it. Yeah, a lot. I mean, obviously, this is something that I do for people, so
Yeah.
I know that it works, but it is a part-time job.
Right. Right.
And it's especially good for people that aren't out and about like you are. Now, do
Right.
you go to meetups? Do you do any of the hiking groups or any kind of organized
I
activity?
haven't, but things like if there's like a festival, where there's, an outdoor area that has, you're kind of walking from place to place. You're not just like sitting at a bar. I like to do things like that. It's pretty easy to meet people in those situations. The FC, the soccer games.
Yes.
I haven't been to one yet, but that's on the list.
Yep.
Now that they're back, and just some different things. But I haven't really joined any single groups outside of you know talking to you on occasion, and when you have events,
Yeah.
helping if I can. But that also is not, that's me, that honestly is me helping people meet each other,
Yeah.
because I realize that's a struggle, and I'm good at it.
Yeah, totally. What did you observe at my last social? And I know I'm so bad about having these events because I'm such a perfectionist and people keep
It
saying,
takes a lot.
why don't you have more events? And you know this about me is
Yeah.
want to have an event that's going to be like three-quarters women, one
Right.
quarter. The women are annoyed with me.
Right.
I'm annoyed that there isn't good representation. Then I spend
Right.
all this time trying to recruit men. It's annoying. I cannot stand it.
Right. Right.
And then I want to make sure all the ages are right. And could there potentially be matches? I micromanage the whole thing, drive myself crazy, spend
Well, yeah, it's a lot.
so much time doing it. And
It's a
then
lot.
it just doesn't make sense. But anyway,
So that I think that and years and years ago I helped you with a couple things. You were before COVID, obviously. Um, I think people are shy, and they just don't have the confidence to walk up to somebody and introduce themselves.
yeah,
And so what what if you're at a function like that, they're there to meet people. So
yeah,
it's okay. It's okay to walk up and introduce yourself. And but then you also have to have a little bit of thick skin, because if somebody is immediately not interested and they kind of dismiss you, move on. That person's not for you. Go to them. but that's the reason why everyone is there, is to meet people. So
Mm.
it's not awkward for you to walk up and just introduce yourself.
Yeah. And like all the women were going for like the same five guys,
I know. Yeah.
right? There's like
Yeah.
one really tall guy in the room. They're all like, I want to talk to him.
I know.
And
Yeah.
then like, stand in line.
Right.
Maybe talk to the guy who's, 5'9" instead and enjoy.
Right.
Find a partner. you know?
Right. Right. Yeah. But that was a great event. That last one you had was a great event. And it was, I mean, you had a great turnout.
Yeah, we did. We had like 150 or something.
Yeah.
I just was so overwhelmed looking all around. I was like, I don't know what to do. Like at
I
that
know.
point, I was just like, I just want to make sure nobody's standing by themselves. Like that,
Right.
that was like the ultimate of everything that I could do at that point.
Right.
Um, yeah, so that was good. So how do you manage having kids,
Mhm.
dating?
So I'm an empty nester at this
Yep.
point. So, in the last couple of years, so it really hasn't been difficult because the kids are out of the house. So,
Okay.
but for my friends that do have kids, all kids still in the house with all their activities
Mhm.
and their own drama with, kids, teenage kids, whatever.
Yep.
It's difficult for them. So they have to be that much more selective as to who they decide they want to talk to and spend time with. And that's when you realize that, it's okay to say no. I've made myself go out on dates because I'm so picky that I'm like, Terry, you need to give this person a chance. So I've made myself go out on dates, and I've met some great people. There wasn't a connection or chemistry there, but it's a good way to learn a little bit more about yourself and other people, and what it is that you're really looking for.
But you knew right away that it wasn't going to be a match,
Yeah. Yeah.
even before you went on the date, but you forced yourself.
Typ typically, typically, yes. There's been a couple that fooled me, but
You can usually tell.
yeah,
Um, when do you introduce your love interest to your kids? Even if
I
they're
haven't.
never. Okay.
No, the guy that was out of town kind of by default met my kids, but it wasn't like a, hey, I want you to meet my kids. It was, we were in the town, and it was just a very casual meet and greet. But I just really haven't, because I haven't met someone that I know is going to be around for more than, let's say, 8, 9, 10 months.
Yeah.
Maybe after that point. I mean, if they were really eager to,
Mhm.
and I really like somebody, then I would have that conversation with my kids. But I'm not going to subject them to meeting random people that I don't know that are going to be around in the next 6 months.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And what about your ex? Has he introduced anyone to the kids? How's that worked
He
out?
has. He has. Yeah, I think maybe only one.
Okay.
And that was fine. My kids were fine with that. They talked about it. They were fine with it. But they're also, when we got divorced, they were 18 and 20, or around that, like 17, 19. So they're older. If they were younger, then I think that it would be a different story.
And I know you were married for a long time
Yeah,
and
21 years.
really happy. Can you share, do you have any insight looking back of what could have changed the trajectory of your relationship?
Absolutely. And this is the same advice that, I mean, all my single girlfriends and I have talked about, is that kids, when they're young, take a lot
Hmm.
of time and effort. And if you allow it to take the all of your focus,
Yeah.
especially when the kids are young, and away from your husband, it's going to affect your relationship, and it's hard to get that back. So if you don't have a date night, once a week, or however often, or have something, special planned, trips, get away for a weekend with just, the whole reason why you have kids is because you fell in love with this person in the first place.
Hmm.
If it, I mean, obviously there's different scenarios with everybody's relationship, but I really feel like if you can keep the focus on and appreciate your significant other, and it's not easy to do. I mean, you can talk to, 8 out of 10 couples, and they'll say it was the kids just kind of sucked our time away from us, and then to try and get that back, it's difficult. So, but if you can keep it going, I think that would be helpful.
That's great advice.
Yeah.
Weekly dates. We always did that, Kevin and I.
Yeah.
Or even if it's just to go out for dinner and a movie.
Right. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. Yeah.
Out of the house. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great advice.
Yeah.
Okay, gosh, I feel like I could talk to you all day long.
I know.
We will end.
Yes.
Do you have, I know you're a realtor, do you have social media or anything you want people to follow?
I do. Yeah. I've got a business Facebook page. It's
Okay.
Tara Neperud, and I think Tara Neperud Realtor. I've
Okay.
got an Instagram, it's a business page. So that's it's got, a lot of the stuff that I'm doing on there. So yeah. And if anybody needs any help with real estate, I'm happy to help.
Okay, good. We'll put it in the show notes.
Okay.
Thank you so much for your time
Yeah, that was good to talk to you.
and hearing your story.
Yeah. Thanks, Laurie. We'll talk soon.
Thanks for listening to Love on the Go. I hope you join us on our next episode. You can make sure to know when it is by following us wherever you listen to podcasts. Also, if you enjoyed it, it'd be great if you left us a review. I'd appreciate it. In the meantime, to learn more about me and how my team can help you, visit carolinasmatchmaker.com. Until next time.